This is why you still haven't developed profitable scalping systems using trading indicators. Most important role in the trading is that indicators should deliver different type of information about the price and confirm each other rather than duplicate signals. I am fixing your problem today by showing the great combination of the indicators designed for the scalping system using the RSI ADX and the 50 exponential moving average. And if you want to show your support, please drop a like to help us with YouTube algorithms and turn on the bell so you don't miss when your video are released. This scalping strategy combined three indicators, all displayed different informations whether price are about to increase or decrease. The angle they each offer is different. By incorporating these two indicators, we will analyze the market from different angles. There are four general types of indicators offering information regarding trend, volume, momentum, and volatility. We will use each of the category accepting volume information. So one momentum oscillator, one trend indicator, and one volatility indicator. First, we will add the RSI as momentum indicator. Price will often trend upwards or downwards for a long period of time, and it's useful to know the trends of the particular trending, which is why the RSI as a momentum indicator is very helpful. You will find that the RSI oscillator from overbought to oversold as the price rised and fall. Remember, oversold and overbought signals don't instantly represent a change in the price directions, although it's not 100% reliable. This RSI signals generally indicates that the trend is starting to run out of momentum. When you add DDX as the volatility indicator, there will be a time when the price is extremely volatile and moving upwards and downwards, and there will be quiet times when the price is barely moving at all and stuck in the narrow trading range. Sometimes it's obvious, but it's useful to use the ADX because it will give you a good indication of the volatility at any given momentum. Now, volatility is just one important factor that can help you to categorize the price actions in any given market. Understanding the momentum using the RSI and the volatility using the ADX can help you to anticipate price behaviors that might otherwise surprise you. And finally, we will add the trend indicators. The 50 exponential moving average. If market is in the strong uptrend, the price will stay above the EMA, and if the market is a strong downtrend, the EMA will be above the price. So RSI for momentum and for trend and volatility, and the 50 EMA for the trend directions. In the scalping setups, RSI will show the momentum of price. The 50 EMA filters the price fluctuations, meaning the noise, to see the real picture of the market directions, and the RSI displays possible shifts in momentum. When we are adding the ADX into these equations, our goal is to watch the directions of the market given when there is a sharp increase to volatility. When it's come to analyze and measuring volatility, the ADX analysis, the recent price movement, a high ADX reading implies that the trend is strong and low ADX shows a weak trend used in combination with 50 EMA. You can filter those trades when there isn't much activity in the market. The combinations between the RSI as the momentum indicators and the ADX as volatility indicators is also important because you can confirm the market is turning and choose the great entry point. Now let's talk about the most important aspects of the combination combining these indicators, the setting and look back periods of the each indicators. For the RSI will change from the standard 40 period to a 3 period. Some of you may be familiar with the controls RSI using 2 period RSI controls. The author of the strategy said you should look for the buying opportunities when the 2 period RSI moves below 10, which is considered deeply oversold, and for short silent opportunities when the 2 periods are assignment above 90. This is rather aggressive short-term strategy, and from my back testing, this wasn't a very successful system, so I never managed to get the win rate over 50 in any of my previous attempts. Try it yourself and you will probably get the same result as I. But this system had some potential, so I have changed the RSI to look back period to 3. I've changed not only the RSI parameters but also played around with overbought and oversold reading, and found out that by using the 80 RSI reading for the overbought 20 RSI rating for the oversold conditions, I get more accurate signals. We will pay attention when the RSI of the 3 period touches the 20 and 80 level. It doesn't need to get deeper into oversold, but as long as the RSI touches the lines, we will have the first conditions in our strategy, the momentum conditions, the volatility conditions of the strategy is given by the DDX. The average directions index is used to determine if the price is trending or not. The AX gives you a reading that generally range between 0 and 50. The higher the reading, the stronger the trend, the lower the reading, the weaker the trend. The ADX is very useful as the confirmations true when you want to trade in the trending market, but will not give you reliable buy or sell signals on its own. That's why combinations with your assignments EMA, the standard settings is periods, but I've modified it to be in the line with our scalping strategy, so I've changed the ADX parameters for the 14 to 5. And while many traders use 25 as the key level of the ADX, I prefer the 30 levels. The noise is greatly reduced on the ADX reading for the over 30 indefinite a strong trend, whereas a reading of the below 25 identifies a weak trend, and will avoid signals in this area. Obviously, the higher the scope, the stronger the trend. Reading between 30 and 50 signals is extremely strong trend, while reading over 50 signals, that the trend is very strong and it could reverse. So ADX of the 5 periods with 30 as most important level, the 50 EMA, the trend conditions is used to generate signals with a simple price crossovers. When the price actions trend to stay above the 50 EMA, it signals that the price is general uptrend. If price action stays below the 50 EMA, when it indicates that it's downtrend. This trend filter is very important for our scalping setups. Please note these two important tips. The future price can pull away from a moving average. The stronger the current trend is and lower the price can stay on the side of the moving average without touching a moving average. The stronger the trend, the are conditions for the buy setups. The trend conditions price is trending above the 50 EMA, and ideally the average is sloping upwards. The momentum conditions, the 3 period RSI pullbacks to oversold conditions and touches or goes below the 20 level, and the volatility conditions ADX must be above the 30 when the signals occurs. When we have all conditions, we enter at the high of the first green candle, the candles which pulls the RSI from the oversold conditions. The conditions for the sales setup are the trend conditions. Price is trending below the 50 EMA, and ideally the average is sloping downwards. The momentum conditions, the 3 period RSI goes over bad conditions and touches or goes above 50 levels, and the volatility conditions, the ADX must be above 30 when the signals occurs. We enter at the low of the first red candles, the candles which pulls the RSI from the overbought conditions. Here's an example on the 5-minute time frame. By the way, this is the time frame I used to bought me the best result. First, we identify the trend using the 50 EMA. We see the trend is upwards. The price is above the moving average, and the EMA is sloping upwards. Then, after we identify the trend, we look at the RSI, identify buying opportunities within the trend. When the RSI touches the 20 levels, we prepare for a change in momentum for the downside to upside in line with the dominating trend directions indicated by the moving average. And third, the volatility confirmations from the ADX. As the ADX has the rating higher than the 30, that this signals is valid. Also look where the signals appears right at the previous slight low, which made it doubt bottom around to the 50 EMA. A little bit of the price actions confirmations is always welcome. We enter at the high of the green candles that look the other side out of the oversold zone. Stop loss goes below these green candles, so very narrow stop loss. Aim for the 1 to 1, where 1.5 to 1 risk reward ratio. In this chart we found a short signals price was trading well below the 50 exponential moving average, and the EMA was chopping down the 3 period RSI pullbacks and rose above the 80 levels, so we expect a momentum shift to the downside. The ADX stayed above the 30 level, indicates that the trend was strong, so we had the volatility confirmations. We enter short, and the low of the red candles that took the RSI out of the overbought zone stop loss. This red candles, this was successful to 1 risk reward trade, and 2 to 1 risk reward trade, and there's another short signed up here. This was 50 to 50 signals, because as price corrected, it moved slightly above the 50 EMA, but as this red candles returns to the EMA and the RSI moved from the overbought levels, we pulled the trigger with the 4 beams doubted above these red candles. Immediately we had a big red momentum candles below the EMA, and the after period of consolidations we reached our profit target, and also observed this in various setups prices was below the moving average. The RSI pullback once again and rose above the 80, but the ADX was below the 30. Although in the highlights it was great signals, we follow the rules of the skip. The signals in this example downtrend is obvious as risk is well below the 50 EMA breaks new lows, and the moving average is sloping down. On the other side, pull up past at levels and price pulls into the form support turn potential resistance zones. Remember, even though we rely on the indicators to find the signals locations is very important, always try to take the signals from the levels where price is found support or resistance. As the ADX was above 30, the setup also checked the volatility conditions. The entry is below these red candles and the stop loss above it. Remember that your scalping you operate with the narrow stop loss orders. Always close part of your positions when you reach a 1-to-1 risk growth ratio. In this way, you don't risk ending up with nothing after having seen price move into the profit. Here's an important filter to reduce false signals by over 70%. Pay attention if the next candles after the signals candles, the one that pull the RSI out of the overbought or oversold zone, doesn't break the signals candles. You skip the signals. Basically, you want immediate momentum after the signals. Look at this example. We had the potential short entry price below the 50 EMA. RSI rose above the 80 EMA level, and the ADX was above the 30. When we have these candles right here, the signals candles which took the RSI out of the overbought zone, but look at the next candles. It didn't break the low of the signals candles, so no trade. This filter is extremely important to enter at the close of the red candle. Would have been a losing trade, but with this filter you avoid the loss. Here's the filter is action avoiding another losses. We had a price above 50 EMA, the RSI moved below 20, and the ADX was above 30. A valid signals about the trigger never came. The high of the signals green candles which took the RSI above the 20 levels was unbroken, or the next candle. The next candle was bearish. One of the incorporate the setup and avoiding the loss. Remember that we want immediate momentum. Please be disciplined and don't ignore this filter. It will save you many losing trades. The second signals was valid. The same setups, RSI below 20, ADX above the 30, prices above the 50 EMA, and the next candles. The signals one took the high of the candle, a successful 1-to-1 risk reward. A successful 1-to-1 risk reward trade here. Several tips to increase your win rate. Never trade when the price breaks the 50 EMA several times in a short period of the time. You want a sloping moving average. When the price moves above and below moving average, it usually consolidation period. Number 2, trade from levels of support and resistance. Although we rely on indication locations is very important. That's why most trader systems fails. Not because most of them don't take into account the basic price actions. This means that you need to take the traders and around certain price levels. Such locations points are usually support and resistance, supply and demand Fibonacci levels or swifting high and lows. Take trades from these levels and you will see consistent results numbers through stick to trading signals which formed during the active market hours. If you are scalping forex, main indicating these instruments are trade the most between the time to the one trading sessions being and when the sessions ends. After that the volume drops off, there are no big orders coming into the market to cause a significant move and therefore to pay attention of the spreads being a scalping setup. You want to narrow spreads. The aim to export subtle changes in the market liquidity for the quick gains, but without a low speaker. See your profit will dismiss the key to a successful scalping strategy is to focus on the liquid markets with narrow spreads as the reduced training course. As always, if you got anything value, hit the learn something new, drop us a like to help us with YouTube algorithms, and make sure you stick around bell icon to stay in touch when we upload new video. Until next time.